2018, Tesla CEO Elon Musk sent out a mysterious... My goodness. Hello.
Hi.
So if you are not hanging out with us over on our YouTube channel, then and you're not on the Patreon, then you might not know Nikita as well.
Hi. Why don't you know me?
I know, like that's kind of
we're doing so much fun stuff over there.
We really are. And we also want to say that, if you are a K cutie, which if you're listening to this, I think you are, thank you. And you would like to support the show, but Patreon is not really available to you to do that. That's totally fine. You can definitely support the show and not even spend a ding dang dollar.
Not one. And we would love for you to do that. Even if you are a Patreon member, we would love for you to still support us in some non-monetary ways, like interacting with us on social media. Give us a
Hanging out there. Yeah.
Give us a follow. Leave us a comment. All of those things really help boost the algorithm for us.
Yes.
And that would be a big, big help.
Yeah. And then, of course, check out the YouTube. That is just another way that if we get enough views, we can help. Like, even if you don't spend any money directly, YouTube can pay us. And that would help a lot. As you guys know, I have talked about this a couple of times, but podcasting revenue, slim pickings these days. It is just getting a little tougher as a creator. So any way that we can kind of diversify our portfolio.
Yes.
I am helpful. A finance bro.
I love a finance bro.
6'5", blue eyes.
So, yes. The dream.
I know.
You're not even 5'5", but that's okay.
No. I wish. I do have blue eyes.
You do. That's you're halfway there.
I'm halfway there.
But you could also subscribe for free dollars over on the YouTube. So that's a subscription you can get with us.
And that way you don't miss any new videos because we do some fun stuff over there. So, check it out. Anything that you can do to help, we super appreciate it. If you like the show, you can share episodes that you like or videos that you like in true crime podcast groups. People are always looking for new stuff to listen to. And, we're just trying to get out there.
Yeah. So help us, please.
Thank you. Please and thank you. We love you.
And thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So today we're doing a fun episode. We did Halloween pranks gone wrong.
We did. And my daughter loved it. And she does not get to be a listener of the show very often because she is a child. So she has been begging me and Torella to do another pranks episode so that she could listen. So shout out to Hensley.
Hey,
this
Hensley.
One's for you.
Yeah. So now we're going to do some April Fool's Day pranks gone wrong.
Yeah. And thanks to Beth for writing it up.
Thank you so much, Beth. All right. So before we get into some of these April Fool's Day pranks that did not quite land, we have a little bit of the origin of April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
I did not know. Oh, and by the way, we are raw dogging this episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Neither one of us know the pranks.
Yep.
Should be fun.
It'll be super fun. And we're going to alternate telling each other the pranks.
Pranks, yes.
We'll both get to react.
Yeah. The oldest historical reference for April Fool's Day comes from a Flemish poem written in 1561 about a nobleman who sent his servant on fool's errands on April 1st. In about the same era in France, the people were slow to adapt the calendar change from the last week of March to January 1st to mark the new year. It was a move from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar that was decreed by the Council of Trent. Those who struggled to adjust were called April Fools, and many began playing tricks on them.
Oh.
They were just like, you idiot. And then also played tricks. Like they called them mean names. And then.
These were medieval times. Okay. They were also like jousting and stuff.
That's true. They were like, we couldn't
dueling for their honor.
Yeah.
They couldn't. We should bring that back. That'd be fun, right?
Oh, I would love that. I would love that.
Jousting or dueling?
Any of it. For my
Let's do
honor,
it.
100%.
We would be like 10 paces and then turn around. Here we go.
Andrew, you better start practicing, sir.
That's right.
Another reference is with the Catholic Church. In medieval France and England, a carnival of sorts called the Feast of Fools was held on January 1st, but was banned by the 15th century. Though it was still held for hundreds of years despite the ban. Then by the 19th century, April Fool's Day was a part of American culture. Mark Twain was quoted as saying, quote, "The 1st of April is the day we remember what
we are the other 364 days of the year."
Jesus.
Mark Twain, he uses big words, you know?
He uses big words. He puts them together in ways I was like, clearly a typo. Let me fix this, Beth. Thanks. No? Okay.
No.
So, all right. So the 1st of April is the day we remember what we are 365. No, the other.
Oh my God.
It's after lunch. Okay. What we are the other 364 days of the year. Okay. Because even when you fixed it, my brain didn't process it. So
I understand.
Okay. So we're just fools all the time. Is that what we're getting at here?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. All right. Mark Twain, what are we all, scholars?
Please. Come on.
Okay, well, at least we started out with being clear that I can't read and I am stupid. So let's just get that out.
Well, it is April Fool's, so
why not?
You know, way to stay on brand.
That's really, what I was doing.
It's you know, for the plot of this show is why you did it. You're not really like this.
No. I was committing to the bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So let's get into the first one. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay. This one is the left-handed Whopper from Burger King.
Okay.
I'm hoping this means that Burger King's got jokes.
I hope so. That would be great.
Okay. So on April 1st, 1998, the good old days, some would say, Burger King published a full-page ad in USA Today where they announced their new item, a left-handed Whopper. This lefty burger was specially designed, they said, for the 32 million left-handed Americans. The advertisement stated that this new Whopper included all of the same ingredients as the original Whopper, lettuce, tomato, patty, mayo, all of the things, but the condiments were rotated 180 degrees. With this rotation, they redistributed the weight of the burger so that the bulk of the condiments would skew to the left and reduce the amount of toppings from spilling out of the right side of the burger.
Very smart. Okay.
They are. This is burger technology at its finest.
Absolutely.
The senior VP for marketing for Burger King, Jim Watkins, was quoted as saying that the new burger was the ultimate have it your way for the left-handed customers. The ad also said that the left-handed Whopper would at first only be available in the United States, but they were considering rolling it out among other countries that had a large left-handed population. The next day, Burger King issued a follow-up revealing that the left-handed Whopper was a hoax and that thousands of customers had gone to Burger King restaurants requesting one, but people were also requesting their own right-handed version. People actually thought this was for real and they went and ordered it.
But if you thought the left-handed one was legit, then wouldn't you realize that the regular one was the right-handed one?
I guess not. I mean, people prove every day how low the bar is on the floor.
I have a confession.
Oh, no.
I didn't do this.
Okay.
But I did something real close.
Did you go buy wiper fluid?
No. Thank goodness. I did not do that. You mean
windshield wiper fluid? Or not windshield wiper fluid, blinker fluid. That's what it is.
Yeah. I was like,
no, I know. I was like, that is wiper fluid.
Am I
blinker
stupid?
Blinker fluid.
No, I am stupid. But we were at Andrew's grandparents' house forever ago. This was like, we weren't married, anything like that. I don't remember why we were there, but we were cooking something and he said, "Will you get me a pot holder thing? The thing." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so I get one out, and he goes, "I can't use that. That's a left-handed one." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Okay." So I'm going through, and I'm like, "Andrew, they're all left-handed." And I was like, are your grandparents left-handed?" And he busted out laughing, and I was like, "What?" And then I realized that he was messing with me.
That's funny.
And I bought it, and I feel very stupid, but here we are.
I mean, he still married you, so, you know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I have some other attributes. Apparently, smarts are not one that he requires. So, yeah.
Hey, listen, you do what you got to do.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Okay. Now we have Google's mic drop email. This is not going to go well for me. I almost did not even read that properly.
This is very on par with me trying to read all of the names in the Breath of Fire doc. Which, if you'd like to hear that, will be on Doc Jams.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you should subscribe to the Patreon.
Exactly. I purposefully let you say those names just to see what you're going to come up with.
You should, because I'm very good at pronouncing names.
Yes, very good. Okay, I'm going to try this. It's 3 paragraphs. Wish me luck.
Praying for you.
In April 2016, Google announced their new feature, the Gmail mic drop. This was a special version of the send button, which would add a GIF of a minion from Despicable Me dressed as the Queen dropping a microphone to the end of an email. In their press release, they said everyone will get your message, but that's the last you'll ever hear about it. Yes, even if folks try to respond, you won't see it. To implement their little jokey joke, they placed the mic drop button on every user's compose window in a spot that they would easily click accidentally. Damn, Google, going hard.
I know. Honestly, though, 10 out of 10, I would use this.
Yeah.
I'd be like, here's your email. Don't ever respond. I want to hear from you never.
I don't need anything else from this.
Yeah.
The mic drop send button was right next to the regular send button. One user ended up losing their job and posted on the Gmail help forum, "Thanks to mic drop, I just lost my job. I am a writer and had a deadline to meet. I sent my articles to my boss and never heard back from her. I inadvertently sent the email using the mic drop send button. There were corrections that needed to be made on my articles and I never received her replies. My boss took offense to the mic drop animation and assumed that I didn't reply to her because I thought her input was petty, hence the mic drop." Which, in their defense, is exactly what they meant by that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it did work. I just woke up to a very angry voicemail from her, which is how I found out about this quote unquote hilarious prank. There were several other concerns on help forums. People stated that pranks are great, but not when it affects business correspondence. I mean, Google. I thought y'all knew better.
Yeah, that wasn't well planned.
No. After the complaints, Google announced they had turned off the feature. They told The Guardian, quote, "Well, it looks like we pranked ourselves this year due to a bug. The mic drop," a bug, I bet. "The mic drop feature inadvertently caused more headaches than laughs. We're truly sorry. The feature has been turned off. If you are still seeing it, please reload your Gmail page."
A bug. Okay.
"Sorry you lost your job. That was an accident on our part when we literally made the whole thing to be like on purpose."
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. It makes no difference to me.
Yeah. That was a bold choice. I like it. I think it's funny. If I could mic drop emails, every work-related email I sent out would be a mic drop because I would be like, "I'm actually not open to your feedback right now. I'm not taking questions.
No.
This discussion's over. I said what I said."
This is a press conference on the courthouse steps, and
we will not be taking questions. Thank you. Yeah, this is an active, ongoing investigation that I am conducting by myself. Actually,
yes. And clearly, I cannot comment on it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, this one
that kind of feels like that feels very much like a Winston classic mess around where it's either way too big or way too small, and it's like, Google, you went just way too big on that.
Yeah. It would have been funny.
Oh, people lost their jobs. Whoops.
It would have been funny if it dropped the GIF of what's his name from that 70s show where he's like, I said good day.
Oh, yeah.
Fez, yes. That would have been hilarious. Oh my gosh. All right. This next one comes to us from Reddit, the place of hopes and dreams and rabbit holes you'll never dig your way out of. Here we go. Okay. One Reddit user posted that in year 8, he and a group of friends, bought blood capsules to basically pretend they were in a fight and it got bad enough that they would be bleeding. So he and his friends started horsing around and talking smack to each other. The guy got up and started name calling his friends and stuff, saying words like crap, stupid, idiot, things that weren't actually cuss words. His friend then said, get up there. So he wanted it to be extra dramatic. So he put 12 blood capsules in his mouth and they got up in front of the room and began, quote, fighting. The Reddit user pushed his friend who fell to the floor. Everyone but the teacher was laughing. She panicked and rushed between them. When the friend got up off the ground, he swung a haymaker at the guy into the side of his face. All of the blood capsules exploded all over the teacher's crotch region.
Oh,
this is taking so many turns. Both boys were sent to the principal's office and received 1 week suspensions for something along the lines of intentional vandalism of school property and potentially affecting the mental health of their peers. The teacher did have to walk around with the fake blood all over the front of her dress for the rest of the day and apparently quit after this.
What?
Oh my God.
Why did they let her go home and change or something?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
And that's 8th grade. That's middle school boys. You can't be walking around like that. Like you'll never recover.
Never recover.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely never recover.
Oh my gosh. 12 blood capsules? That's a lot.
That is a lot. That reminds me of like in the Addams Family, you know, when they're doing the play and the blood is just like,
oh yeah.
And it's like, that was too many blood capsules, dude.
Uh-huh. I bet those things taste bad.
I would think so.
Like,
and 12 of them, that teacher
it's
probably
just like pouring out of your mouth.
Exactly. It's like, that's like the death thing. Like everybody was probably like, oh my, this guy is dying. This is.
Oh my God. That's
boys.
That is intense.
Well, absolutely. My children can never listen to this episode because they'll be like, where does one buy blood capsules?
I feel like that is the appropriate use in this context of boys will be boys. Just doing dumb stuff. Nothing inappropriate. I mean, obviously it wasn't appropriate, but like, you know,
not in
just doing immature, dumb boy stuff.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Oh man.
Can you imagine? I would die.
Poor thing. Poor teacher.
Also, poor parents. Because if I had to go up there and get my kid, I don't even know how I would react. Like, would I be mad? A little bit. Would I laugh? Probably.
Yeah, like
and I'd have to just be like, what do you want me to do? Exactly.
What do you want me to do? You want me to pretend that this wasn't kind of funny? Because that's not possible.
It's funny. Let's be real. It's funny.
We need to be honest here.
Exactly.
Honesty
and
is
that's
the best
why
policy.
My children need to not get in trouble because I'm not mature enough to like keep a straight face in the principal's office.
Not even a little bit. Like
if it's even a little bit funny, I'm gonna lose it.
Oh yeah. There are like so many times where I just have to like cover my face. Like Andrew and I will be like, the kids will be doing something and it's like, you're not really supposed to do that, but it was also really, really funny. And so we just try to cover our faces when we laugh and we're like, that's probably not helpful, but the laugh is going to happen.
I get it.
Yeah. All right. The Great Spaghetti Harvest. On April 1st, 1957, one of the BBC's programs, Panorama, reported that a Swiss family had been harvesting spaghetti. During this time, spaghetti wasn't a common food in the UK and it was considered exotic. Oh. Thus, the public of the UK did not really know how it was made. So, cameraman Charles de Jaeger.
Oh, look at
Jaeger
you.
bombs.
Yuck.
For Panorama, thought up the idea, having been inspired by a school teacher who had teased a classmate for believing that spaghetti grew on trees. The editor of the show, Michael Peacock, gave Charles a £100 budget to produce the piece. They chose to film the now closed pasta foods factory in St. Albans, Hertfordshire, and at a hotel in Castagnola, Switzerland. Panorama's host, Richard Dimbleby,
You're crushing this.
I think I'm British. Voiced the broadcast. And because he was so well respected, the story seemed even more believable. About 8 million people watched the broadcast. The BBC was then flooded with hundreds of calls the next day. Some people questioned the legitimacy of the story, while others asked in-depth questions on how they could grow their own spaghetti tree.
Oh,
Bless. The BBC's response, you ask, place a sprig of spaghetti in a tin of tomato sauce and hope for the best.
Oh my gosh. The BBC leaned in.
Hopes and dreams is how you can grow your own spaghetti. In the broadcast, they say that in Ticino, a southern Swiss province that borders Italy, they harvest their spaghetti trees as a family. They do this in late March when the spaghetti is fully grown. Once picked, it's laid out to dry in the sun. And once dried, it's prepared and served to the family that day.
Wow.
They're like a new fun family activity. Harvest your own spaghetti together.
I mean,
fun for hours.
That feels like whenever I found out that pineapples grew out of like bushes, basically. Have you ever seen pineapples?
I didn't know that.
Grow?
No.
Google it. It
Okay.
blew my. I was like, this is fake. This is a deep fake. It's not real. They don't grow the way that you think they grow.
Wow. When did you learn this? Because I'm also feeling very stupid.
I don't know. I was like still in school, middle school, high school, maybe. I don't know.
Why did you do this to me? I'm a grown up. They just grow out of the ground? It's so weird.
Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
Is it not like it like grows out of like a bush like plant and then there's just like a little pineapple?
But like on top, like.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. No, I didn't know that. I'm going to be honest. I think that I thought they grew on trees. I'm not sure that I ever gave it any thought ever whatsoever. But if you were to ask me, how do you think they grow? I probably would have said trees.
Yeah, I know. And they look like just what are the plants with the flowers? I'm thinking of a flower that has like that prickly middle piece. Like that's what they look like, but it's a fruit. Like, but also who looked at that and was like, we should eat it?
I always wonder that. I'm like, who is the first person that ate all the things? Because somebody was willy-nilly out there trying crap and died for it.
Yep.
So you're not
how do we know who was the mushroom tester?
Exactly.
Because some of them will get you real high.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them taste good on pizza.
Exactly. Know? How does one know?
Couldn't be my job. That's all I know.
Exactly.
All right. This one is dihydrogen monoxide coming out of the taps. Are you ready?
Yes.
In Florida.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
In 2013, two DJs, Val St. John and Scott Fish, told their early morning listeners on WWGR-FM that they had dihydrogen monoxide coming out of their taps. The two men hosted the show from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., and because of what they said, many residents began calling Lee County utilities in a panic. They stated that they had heard that the county water was unsafe and should not be used for drinking, showering, or any use. One woman even said that she worked in the food service industry and had to figure out how to prepare dishes without water. But what all of these people didn't realize was that dihydrogen monoxide is just water. It's H2O.
H2 di monoxide 1O.
Yeah. Yep. Diane Holm, a public information officer for the Florida Department of Health in Lee County, stated that it was her understanding that it is a felony to call in false water quality issues. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection had been asked to investigate the hoax, but a spokesperson for the department said there was nothing to investigate. Val St. John had been working at the station for 16 years in 2013, while Scott Fish had been there for 10 years. They were both suspended indefinitely, and the radio station recanted the joke and made apologies during the breaks. on their Facebook fan page, Val and Scott in the morning on Gator Country 101.9. An admin posted, yikes, it's April Fool's Day. Dihydrogen monoxide. There's water in the water. So, okay. Again, I say the public school system's failing us, you guys.
I know. Like, that many people got that upset. And it's a felony.
Yeah.
To report
and
false
they got
things.
suspended from their job.
Oh my gosh. Like, like, pranks are fun.
Yeah.
But we have to balance.
Yeah, but also, like, the joke was, like, if you just Googled it, if anyone was like, oh my God, there's dihydrogen monoxide in the water, let me figure out what that is. Like, Google's free, y'all. Like, why do I have to lose my job because you're gullible?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
There has to be a line.
Man. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. All right.
Oh.
Oh my. Oh my.
All right, y'all. Pray for Torella. This one's going to be good.
This is a country bumpkin. Gonna try to pronounce words I don't know. Okay. In 2010, a newspaper called Al God in Jordan ran a front page article stating that UFOs had landed in a desert close to the town of, is it Jaft, do you think? Jaft?
I would say Jaft. That's what the pronunciation to the side that Beth so kindly provided us says.
Oh, yes. Well, I didn't know about the A. Was it a long? Was it a short? Was it a, I don't know.
Do what feels right.
Okay. They described the pilots of these UFOs as 10-foot tall creatures and said that all communications went down because of the effect generated by these objects. The article said the town had been lit by the aliens' flying saucers during their night landing, and the light had caused citizens of Japt to run into the streets. Once word about the article had spread throughout Japt, the residents were scared and they weren't sending their kids to school. The mayor notified security authorities and began preparations for evacuation of the entire town, which had a population of 13,000. Once it was revealed that this was an April Fool's joke, the mayor stated that the town's residents were scared that aliens would attack them, and he also considered suing the newspaper for their big lie.
Oh my gosh.
Again, your
gullibility should not. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. The Al God newspaper issued a formal apology. However, the editor never specified why Jaft became the butt of their joke. However, the BBC covered the story and noted that the Jaft area was notorious for its military bases that had been used by American soldiers during joint military exercises with the Jordanian military. They also once housed... Wait, I think I put too many D's in there somewhere.
Yep.
I did? Okay. They also once housed alleged Al-Qaeda militants.
Okay. But they were going to evacuate the whole town? That is crazy.
Look, aliens are real.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me that everybody saw it, I mean, I'm going to believe that.
I mean, I feel like
But did none of the people talk to each other and be like, well, I didn't see it. Well, I didn't see it. Well, I didn't see it.
No.
Like,
I have no idea. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was, I don't know. At this point, like if you told me this now, when was this? This is 2010. If you told me this today, I would be like, I'm not leaving this town. They're taking me with them. You cannot. Listen, no child left behind. Okay. They're not leaving me here.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. They can't abandon me.
No. Have you seen the SNL skits with Kate McKinnon where they do the alien abduction things or whatever? They'll have like...
Probably, yes.
They'll have like different guests. She wears like a short wig. She sits with her legs spread wide open. She's like, she's smoking a cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And like everybody will be like, oh yeah, there was this beautiful light and it came down and everything felt warm and blah, blah, blah. She's like, that was not my experience. She's like, they shoved some stuff up my butt and like this or that. I don't know. It's just, it's really funny the way she does it. But that kind of reminded me of that.
Well, I mean,
For no reason, really.
I don't think I want to sign up for that kind of abduction.
I mean, I think the point is you just don't know what you're going to get.
That's true. I mean, do we ever know what we're going to get around here either? You know?
That's true. That's true.
All right. Next one. A topless hairdresser. 1980, Columbus, Ohio. Picture it. George Burko headed into work without a shirt. He wore only a bow tie and pants. He put a sign on his window that read, "Topless stylist on duty today," and in his one-man salon. According to police, George's ads caused traffic to back up, and a man from the state licensing board stopped by to check on the situation.
Oh,
Listen,
my gosh.
I formerly worked at the department that regulates and issues licensing for hairdressers. That was not my area, but they do some wild stuff, and you got to keep an eye on them. Hairdressers and funeral directors. They're wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some funeral director stories recently. So
yeah.
Not like, okay, so Freddie on Love is Blind UK is a funeral director.
Yes, he is.
I trust him.
Hey, Freddie, if you're listening.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
You look like a cheese grater.
Could you imagine? Like, I would just be like, no. No. Simply no. Oh my
If I walked in to get my hair cut and Hunter was topless, I would be like, whoa, sir.
What are we doing?
What are you
here?
doing?
I'm assuming that the traffic backed up so bad because people thought it was a woman.
I'm assuming. So,
yeah. Because, like, you know, guys just run around with their shirts off, right? Like, it's just
a pretty fun. I mean, it's a good marketing strategy.
I know, right?
Maybe that should be our new thing.
I was going to say.
Topless podcasters, but we only shoot for hero.
Dude, that would be, let's do it.
We'll do it.
We'll do it.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Again, in Columbus, this time in 2003, an employee at a clothing store phoned her boss to let him know that someone with a gun was robbing their store in Ohio. Before she had a chance to call him back and let him know it was just a joke. Why would you do that as a
joke?
He had called the police, obviously. 4 patrol cars were sent to the store and the employee was arrested for inducing panic. I mean...
Yeah, that's what you get. Oh my God.
Goodness gracious.
Lie about something else next time.
Yeah, and you let him get off the phone. Like, oh, well, I was going to call you back and tell you. Like,
yeah.
First of all, weird joke. Don't do it at all. But if you're going to do it, stay on the phone. Don't let him get off the phone and be like, no, it was just a joke. Like,
yeah.
They're going to call 911, obviously.
The punchline came too late on that one, I think.
A little bit.
Oh, this one's about both of our favorite place, the Taco Bell. Did you know, I saw online, they have a Taco Bell Vegas wedding package. $700. There's an Elvis impersonator. You get married. You get taco. I don't know. All I'm saying is I want Sean to have a second wedding with me, Taco Bell style.
There you go.
So
it sounds worth it. I don't care what the price tag is.
100%. It very affordable, honestly. When you think about how much a wedding costs, $700, easy peasy, done and
Absolutely.
done. Okay, but this is the Taco Liberty Bell joke, and I feel like I remember something about this. In 1996, Taco Bell took out a full-page ad in several major newspapers to announce that they had bought the Liberty Bell to help reduce the national debt. Could we try that again, please? I'm open to all ideas.
Oh my God. I love this.
It read, "It will now be called the Taco Liberty Bell and will still be accessible to the American public for viewing. While some may find this controversial, we hope our move will prompt other corporations to take similar action to do their part to reduce the country's debt." The American people went banana sandwich over hearing about it. Several radio talk show hosts believed the ad and told their listeners about it. Even a Clinton press secretary joked about it to the reporters. They got the president in on this. The National Park Service, who maintains the Liberty Bell, had to field hundreds of angry phone calls and had to assure Americans that they had not, in fact, sold the bell to Taco Bell. A spokesperson for Taco Bell apologized to those people who didn't get the joke. You know what, Taco Bell? Don't apologize.
No.
If they don't have a sense of humor, they shouldn't be eating your tacos. That's not the kind of negativity you want.
Exactly. That you just weeded
your
out
institution.
Yeah, all of your not ideal customers right there.
Those people were probably okay with the Mexican pizza being taken off the menu, and we don't need them in our lives.
Exactly.
Okay?
No.
The Mexican pizza stays
delicious
forever.
Ugh. Yeah.
I know.
So good. That's a good joke. Like, nobody lost their job.
Yeah, no, that one was very funny.
Yeah.
It was funny enough that, like, the president's press secretary, like, made a joke about it.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Like, come on. Some people. All right. In 1993, a radio DJ for KGB FM interviewed a NASA spokesperson who confirmed that the space shuttle Discovery was, in fact, en route to land at San Diego's Montgomery Field. This was after he told his listeners that Discovery could no longer land at Edwards Air Force Base due to a systems malfunction. More than 1,000 people flocked to the airport to see the landing and tied up traffic for hours. The airport manager had to explain to the mob of people that it wasn't true and they had been hosed. There wasn't even a space shuttle in orbit at the time. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Weird joke, though. Like,
yeah, it is a weird joke. But I mean, it was the 90s, you know? Taco Bell was buying the Liberty Bell.
That's true.
Fake NASA agents were saying that space shuttles were going to land at airports. You know, times were wild.
I would like to be in the room. Somebody planned this out, right? Because they interviewed the NASA spokesperson. So, like, you know that this DJ was like, hey, bro, hear me out. What I'm thinking is you're going to pretend to be a NASA spokesperson and we're going to pretend like there's a shuttle in orbit and then we're going to pretend that it has a malfunction and we're going to tell people and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, why did we get all through that and be like, that's a fantastic idea, honestly.
Yeah. They're like, actually, you know what? That's genius. Let's,
I wish I had thought of this myself.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. All right. A flying saucer. Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group, loves April Fool's Day pranks. Did you know this? I did not. In 1989, shout out 1989.
Oh,
Taylor's version. In 1989, he planned to land a flying saucer in Hyde Park on April 1st. The night before, residents outside of London saw a flying saucer land in a field in Surrey. Several police officers went out to the field to investigate and were probably shocked to see an actual flying saucer on the ground in front of them. When they approached it, a door opened and a figure dressed in all silver walked out. The cops said, hell no, and got out of there. As it turned out, the man dressed in silver was Don Cameron, a friend of Richard Branson's. The flying saucer was actually a hot air balloon and was supposed to land in Hyde Park the next morning. However, the wind pattern forced them to land early.
Oh my
Again,
gosh.
I say a great joke.
Yes, I think that's a great joke.
A billionaire level joke, one I could never pull off because I don't have friends with hot air balloons and would most certainly be arrested, most likely. But a fantastic joke.
I think so. And committed to it with the outfit and everything.
I know. Can you imagine being the police officer that's like, somebody said there's a flying saucer in the park, like whatever, let's just go look. And then you get there and you're like, oh my God, there's a flying saucer in the park. And then as you approach, you're like, what do we do? The door just opens. And I just imagine there was like a smoke machine in there too.
Yes.
And
it has to have like smoke coming out of it.
And then this big tall guy in a silver suit walks out. And you're just like, nope.
Yeah. Those officers noped right out of there.
They were like,
there was
no.
Officer-sized hole in the door.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. They were like, protect and serve yourself at this point. Like, I'm not doing that.
For real.
Oh my gosh. Okay. In 2001, at a Hooters in Florida. That's giving us a vibe. The manager, Jared Blair, told his servers that they were having a contest for the highest beer sales for the month of April, and whoever won would receive a new Toyota. Jody Berry won the contest and was blindfolded and brought to the parking lot. However, once the blindfold was removed, she was presented not with a Toyota vehicle, but with a toy Yoda from Star Wars. Jody was furious and quit her job at Hooters, but it didn't end there for her. She also sued the company for breach of contract and fraudulent misrepresentation. Even though the manager had claimed it was just an April Fool's Day prank, Jody and Gulf Coast Wings Inc. ended in a settlement of an undisclosed amount. Her attorney, David Knoll, was quoted as saying that the amount of money she received would allow her to pick out whatever type of Toyota she wants.
We actually had to study that in law school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, about misrepresentation.
But not this particular case, or yes?
No, this case.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Did you guys do the Pepsi thing?
The jet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a documentary on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's called like Give Me My Jet Pepsi or something like that, or Pepsi Give Me My Jet, or something.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
talked about both of those things.
That's funny
because the Pepsi thing, their whole thing was nobody's going to be able to feasibly do this. Like the amount of money you would have to spend in order to get it, blah blah blah, whatever. Like it's just crazy. Like it was supposed to be just some like off the cuff like marketing thing, whatever. And then some guy did it, and he was like, "I want a jet," and they were like, "We weren't being serious," and they were like, breach of contract.
Yeah,
you said you would.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned if they didn't have to give that man a jet. Well, I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
They had to settle with him or make a deal with him to do their part.
I mean, don't
make promises you can't keep. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
because we talked about both of those.
You couldn't like at a job, you couldn't be like, "Hey, everybody, I'm going to give you a raise of whatever at the end of the month," and then everybody be expecting that, and then like, "Oh, well, that was just a joke." Like you can't.
Yeah.
What a jerk! I'm glad she got
detrimental reliance.
Oh, okay.
And some other. That's one part of it, right? Like you said, if I do this, you'll do this. So
and I did this. Yeah.
Yeah. And I relied on you to my detriment, especially the guy with the jet. I think that was part of it. Because he spent so much money, which he wouldn't have otherwise done
if he didn't have the chance.
Didn't want the jet. So.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are crazy.
Maybe I'm misremembering the detrimental reliance part of it, but that basically is what happened.
Sounds right. I mean,
I know,
I'm
right?
also not
Legal
a lawyer.
words, man.
It sounds totally right to me. So.
Yeah. The court said there was a reasonable person would have believed, because that was on like commercials and stuff.
Yes, they put
it was like a full-blown marketing campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like their thing.
I remember it. I remember the commercials.
Too
young at the time to have gotten a jet, but as much Taco Bell as I've eaten in my lifetime, they owe me one for sure.
I know, right? And they only carry Pepsi products, which is ridiculous.
Agreed. All right. Not a real Hummer H2. I didn't know they still made Hummers, but I've seen some new ones recently, and they're EV.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're electric, which is, I have a lot of feelings about it. Anyway, it's fine.
Yep.
In 2016, Taft radio station KBDS The Play 103.9 in LA ran a contest in which listeners were to track the number of miles two Hummer H2s traveled around town. They said that the winner would receive a Hummer with 22-inch rims. Big timers would have loved it.
Yes.
The DJs gave regular updates on the vehicle's alleged travels. 25-year-old Shannon Castillo got a babysitter for her two kids and arrived at the radio station at 6 a.m. on April 1st. She waited for 2 hours, and then a DJ pulled up in the back of a truck and handed her and another listener remote-controlled toy cars. According to Shannon, the DJs talked about how they couldn't believe that they were believed. Okay, let me start over. The DJs talked about how they couldn't believe that they, meaning Shannon and this other person, believed that they would get Hummers all the following week on air. The radio station website posted photos of the winner receiving their toy Hummers, and in one, Shannon was most displeased and sporting an obscene gesture. Under the photos, they captioned it, on April 1st, we ran a contest, win a Hummer. Do you know how many people actually participated thinking that we would give away an actual Hummer? Not on this day. Insane.
Rude.
Okay. So, I know I feel like that maybe is where we went a step too far, you know?
Yeah. Did you really think radio stations do giveaways all the time?
Yeah. So Shannon sued the radio station, and her lawyer, Scott Perlman, said that the station's misrepresentation of prizes being offered violated state law and Federal Communications Commission regulations. The lawsuit was filed on June 21st of that year, and they were seeking $60,000, which is approximately the cost of a real H2. Not anymore, it's not. Perlman said, anytime you conduct a contest, you have to be brutally honest about how you're conducting the contest and what you're giving away.
But did she win?
I don't know.
Castillo.
I would imagine that she probably got a settlement of some kind.
Easy. Let's see.
But I mean, this is along the same lines as the Toyota and the fighter jet and all that. Like,
I would definitely think she got a settlement, but
I can't imagine that she didn't, based on the previous, understanding. Which also in 2016, like the Toyota thing already happened in 2001. The Pepsi Jet thing was that the early 2000s or late 90s?
I thought it was early
Either
2000s.
Way, it was like right around the same time as the Toyota thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's precedent for this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Although I will say radio DJs, they'll just get on air and say some shit sometimes.
Be doing stuff. Yeah. They just do stuff.
I mean, what a fun job though,
Yeah.
I just want to get online and say stuff. I mean, I guess that's what we do. Now that I think about it.
Gosh, I wish I had a job where I could just get on.
Get online and say some stuff. Wouldn't that be fun? Maybe one day. Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's literally what we're doing right now. Joke's on us, I guess.
Whoops.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay. On March 31st, 1940, KYW, a radio station, these radio stations in Philadelphia broadcasted the following, quote, "Your worst fears that the world will end are confirmed by astronomers of Franklin Institute, Philadelphia. Scientists predict that the world will end at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. This is no April Fool joke. Confirmation can be obtained from Wagner Schlesinger, director of the Fels Planetarium of this city."
Wow.
We went real hard with that.
Yeah, they did.
This announcement.
They're like, you might be thinking this is April Fool's. It's not. Actually,
it's not.
We're done tomorrow, 3 p.m.
Cooked. You are absolutely cooked. This announcement came after Jack Benny spoke on a radio program discussing how the world might end, and that broadcast mentioned Orson Welles, who had been responsible for the notorious War of the Worlds panic broadcast of 1938. The public reaction to the 1940 broadcast on KYW was very dramatic, with newspapers, police stations, and the city's information bureau receiving hundreds of calls from worried citizens. KYW how much later?
Yeah, for real.
Issued an apology and an explanation. They said that the announcement was false and had been received from William Castellini, the press agent for the Franklin Institute. They had read it in good faith, believing it to be true. Why?
Oh, no.
It turned out that Castellini was intending for it to be a publicity stunt to publicize their April 1st lecture at the planetarium called How Will the World End?
It worked.
But did they say anything about the lecture?
I don't know.
They were like, come to our lecture tomorrow. How will the world end? But too late because you'll already be dead.
It wasn't well thought out, I don't think.
The
execution was lacking.
A little bit, yeah. Castellini said he'd come up with the idea after hearing Benny's program and thought it would be good publicity for the planetarium. He claimed that he had told some of the people at the radio station about the announcement and that he thought they knew it was a stunt. He was dismissed from the Franklin Institute following this incident.
Oh, no, poor baby. Oh my gosh.
Like, if it was going to be a marketing thing, then you would think he would say, like, at the end of
come
it,
here for answers or something.
Yeah, like, come check out our lecture on how will the world end. Like it might not be ending tomorrow. The world might not really be ending tomorrow, but come for our lecture and blah, blah, blah. So that way, I'm sure plenty of people stopped listening at that point and were like, wow, so you've still played the joke on people, but you've said it.
Exactly. And then it at least is like, okay, this is marketing.
Yes, but
oh my gosh.
they didn't ask us, so.
Well, obviously not. Okay, let's talk about some more radio DJs. This time in Brighton. They announced that a full-size replica of the Titanic, sister to the Titanic.
Who's Titanic?
I don't know. A full-size replica of the Titanic that had been constructed by the AFD Construction Company would be visible from the cliffs at Beachy Head. Said that the replica Titanic would be able to be seen as it sailed along the Sussex coast. Hundreds of people went up on the cliffs, which are considered treacherous due to the winds and the fact that the cliffs, that it cliffs over the sea. Anyway, some people showed up from 30 or 40 miles away. It turned out to be an April Fool's prank, and the radio station later apologized. However, because of the amount of people that had shown up and were on the cliffs, a crack developed, and a few days later, the cliff collapsed into the water.
That is destruction of property.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Okay, what if those cliffs had cracked and fallen while the people were standing there? Oh my God.
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. That would have been homicide times hundreds.
Hundreds.
Negligent homicide times hundreds.
Tens of hundreds, probably.
Oh my gosh. They're just like, throw away the key. Oh my
Jesus.
gosh. I mean, surely they never thought about,
Yeah.
This is why I'm not saying it's all men. But this is why important men having important thoughts needs to be run by maybe one other or two other, just filters.
Well, I think they have the filters. It just is that the filter has very large holes in it. Because the filter for important men with important thoughts is other important men with important thoughts. Therefore, the sieve is not getting smaller,
Yeah.
So there's no one there to catch the bad ideas.
No, not even a little bit. Because, my gosh, this could have been terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodness gracious.
In 2021, Volkswagen put out a press release announcing that they would be rebranding their eco-friendly models as Volkswagen of America. The press release was put out on March 29th, but was dated April 29th and stated that the change was a public declaration of the company's future-forward investment in e-mobility. Several major news outlets such as CNN, The Washington Post, and NBC News believed this was to be true and reported on it. However, the Wall Street Journal later confirmed that the announcement was an early April Fool's prank. Several journalists reacted, stating that the prank was a waste of their time and that Volkswagen took it too far.
Okay, I don't think Volkswagen took this one too far. I feel like this one was pretty innocent. And I think that these journalists probably were very important men with very important thoughts.
And they were like, I'm going to be first. This is what happens when you try to be first and not right. Check into it. If you'd made one call to the company, I bet the receptionist would be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody, like, I don't know.
Ugh. All right. In 2002, Southwest Airlines out of Albuquerque played a prank on a new employee. Marcy Fersbach, made that up, had just finished her probationary period, and her coworkers decided an April Fool's prank was a good initiation. Marcy was arrested by airport police officers who were in on the joke. They told her something had been discovered in her background check, and she was led away in handcuffs. Once they were out of the airport, her coworkers began applauding and yelling, "Congratulations, you're off probation." She immediately started crying and stated that she had experienced significant trauma because of their prank. She later sued the employer for false imprisonment, assault and battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Damn, girl.
Oh my gosh. That's okay. We went a little hard. This is the badger in the air vents at the wedding. Like, come on. Too
much.
Too much. Okay. In 2018, Tesla CEO Elon Musk sent out a mysterious. My goodness. That is French for mysterious tweet.
Yep.
Promising that big news was coming out about his electric car company. Just a few hours later, Elon tweeted that Tesla had gone bankrupt. Might not be too far off, Mr. Musk. With all the boycotts, had gone bankrupt and referenced a mass sale of Easter eggs as a last-ditch effort to save the company.
That's an interesting choice, but okay.
However, this backfired pretty quickly because the tweet caused a 7% drop in Tesla stock.
I love it.
I just don't understand. Like, all of these companies, like, you run a company.
Mm-hmm.
You are responsible for people and you're responsible for making big decisions. This very much feels like the, my emergency contact trend on TikTok. Like, y'all, these people are responsible for a lot of money. And he didn't think through publicly announcing that Tesla had gone bankrupt. Like, that's not going to make changes in the economic landscape of your company. But okay. Well, investors and investors and shareholders claimed that Elon's joke was inappropriate because Tesla had already been experiencing hard financial times before he sent the tweet.
Yeah, I was going to say, weren't they already like on shaky ground anyway? It's like, stocks aren't doing great right now. Investments are a little shaky. It'd be funny. Let's tell everyone we're going bankrupt as a joke.
And not just like tell a guy that you have a meeting with tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah,
like one guy. You publicly announced it.
Yeah, on the World Wide Web.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah. All right. I think this is our last one.
All right.
Another Reddit post. All right. So a user on Reddit posted that their boss fired them and they then spent the next 2 hours clearing out their desk and destroying the digital client list. 3 hours later, the boss called and asked where they were. The user said that he had fired them, so why would they be at work? The boss said it was an April Fool's joke and to get back in the office, and the user refused and said they would be taking unemployment and filing a complaint with HR. Boom. Love it. The boss called the user several times along with HR. The user set up a meeting with HR for the next day and received 72 messages from the boss that night. That is harassment. The user learned that several other employees walked out after the boss was yelling at them as well. After meeting with HR, other team leads, and a lawyer, the user kept their job but moved to a different team. The boss was fired and the other people that walked out returned to their positions as well. The user got a raise and additional vacation time, and the other employees also received raises. The user posted that the boss had other issues, including harassment, and this situation was likely the straw that broke the camel's back. You can't fake fire people.
No. And harassment should be the straw that breaks the camel's back. But
the first time.
Yeah. But okay.
There only needs to be one straw. That can be the only straw.
Yeah. You can have just the one straw.
Just the one straw. That's a pretty big one. Yikes. What a mess.
And then 72 messages.
That's insane.
That is like, look, dude, you made your bed.
Oh, yeah. Those are the calls of a desperate man or woman, because we don't know if the boss is male or female or not. But I'm just saying, like, those are the phone calls of a person who knows they're about to get fired because they've taken it too far and they are desperately trying to just salvage what they can.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever done any April Fool's jokes like on each other?
I can't think. Hensley loves to prank, so she's probably gotten some ideas from this. I know. Maybe I shouldn't let her listen to this episode.
Maybe you're going to be fired.
Maybe so. Hensley did one time she did it to Sean, and then she did it to my stepdad, who we call Morfar. She took all of the icing out of the middle of Oreos and replaced it with mayonnaise.
Oh.
And they ate them. She was so proud of herself. It was fantastic. Like, never have I seen so much joy in her eyes. It was wonderful.
Gosh. I saw a Facebook reel one time and I was like, okay, Ben, we got to do this to Dad, because Andrew has like certain shoes that he jogs in, and then he has certain shoes that he goes to work in and like whatever. So like, and then every however many months he'll like downgrade his jogging shoes to his work shoes and then get new jogging shoes, whatever. Anyway, so I saw a thing where you take the popper things that you get at 4th of July.
Oh, like the ones that you throw on the ground?
Yeah. And they're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody took a bunch of those and taped them to the underneath of her husband's Crocs. Like, I guess he kept them by the door every day. And so when he would get ready to leave, he would slide his shoes on there and then go, whatever. So she taped a bunch of the popper things to the bottom of his Crocs. And it was so funny because he puts them on, and it was a ton of them. He puts them on, and I guess he thought he'd been shot or something. He fell out. Like, he was just like, and just like fell all the way out. And Ben thought it was so funny. So we put them on Andrew's shoes, and he did not think he had been shot, but he was fairly surprised. It was
That's
not as
funny.
fun as
That's
the other
a good
guy.
one.
But yeah.
Is Jesse a pranker?
Yeah, they do. Well, they have a pranking spider, of course. And they prank me with the spider in all different locations and areas and ways. And then at one point when we lived at the other house, like if you went up our stairs, there was kind of like that loft kind of landing area or whatever that was like open to the living room. So one time they were like, Mom, look, we built this cool thing out of Legos. Come look at it. And I was like, I think cooking dinner or something. I was like, okay. So I walk in there, they're videoing this. Andrew was with them. And they took it wasn't even a spider. It was this teeny little, those little tube things that you could get at like Michael's. It's like, or I guess you can get them at Kroger, Target too, where it's like, it's a tube thing and it's got little mini animal figurines or sea creature figurines or like whatever, like little toys. There was one of a little crab, but it looked like a spider at first glance. So they had rigged this, put string on a stick. And so I go to walk through, and the spider, I think, drops down and touches me. And I lost my ever-loving mind. And they were like, and I was like, I could have passed out. Like,
I hate all of you, actually. And no one gets dinner tonight. Enjoy the day.
Exactly. Like, I quit. It was traumatizing. So, and actually, I should hire you as my lawyer to sue them. Now that
you should. I will draw up the papers immediately after this.
Thank you so much. You may.
We're going to sue them. We're going to take them for all they got.
All of it.
It's mine now.
Yeah.
And mostly yours, but I will be taking 25% of our winnings, whatever.
Well, sure.
It's standard.
That's, your hands
it's very
are
affordable, actually.
I'm sure you'd waive it if you could, but you cannot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
I get that. Yeah. So yeah, let us know if you guys do pranks or whatever. What pranks should we do?
How do we prank our husbands and children?
Yeah, our husbands and children don't pay attention to our comment section. So let us know.
They don't. But you could for a low price of free dollars.
Exactly.
And it would actually help us a lot. So please do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we love you guys. And Hensley girl, this was for you.
Yeah. Love you, BB.
Bye.
Bye.
If you liked this episode, be sure to like this episode and follow the show so that you never miss out on new episodes. Get in on the conversation on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us at Killer Queens Pod, or you can join our Facebook discussion group at Killer Queens Podcast, where we discuss cases covered on the show and all things 90s. If you want to submit a case to be covered on the show, visit killerqueenspodcast.com/case submission and just complete the form. And if we cover the case, we'll give you a shout out on the show. Lilas.